I will be introducing this panel, and I'll be doing it from down here because I can't really walk right now. So welcome. um, I'm really happy to be here at the conference introducing this panel. My name is Francesca DiGiulio, and I'm a staff attorney with Everglades Law Center. And we're one of the sponsors for this year's event. For those of you familiar with ELC, hello. For those unfamiliar, we are a South Florida-based nonprofit law firm made up of a small team of attorneys with a mission to advocate, negotiate, and when necessary, litigate to protect and restore South Florida ecosystems. So as you might have guessed from our name, Everglades Law Center, we do a lot of Everglades restoration work, mainly working to advance the different projects of SERP, or the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan. But that is not all that we do. We really work in all areas that affect water and ecosystems in South Florida, including, of course, advocating for the health of Biscayne Bay, as well as coastal resilience in the face of climate change and working to advance smart growth and sustainable development within Miami-Dade County and within the urban development boundary. So we work at the intersection of all of these issues, and we leverage law and policy where we can. Oh, now I can hear the microphone working. To protect the people, the water, and the ecosystems of South Florida. So again, we're so happy to be here at the Coalition Conference. You may have heard from our executive director, Elizabeth Fatah Carpenter, at the 2 o'clock or 2:30, the last panel in the main ballroom. She's also currently speaking on another panel right now, again in the Bloom Ballroom. So if you aren't loving this one, we won't judge. Thank you again. If you'd like to learn more about our organization, please come find me. Literally, I can't come to you, so chase me down. That's all I've got. I'll turn it over now to our panel moderator, the lovely Amanda Prieto, who is the Senior Program Director of Miami Waterkeeper.
I don't even need a mic. I talk really loudly. So in case you're in the wrong session, this is From the Ground Up, Revitalizing Miami's Underutilized Spaces Through Green Infrastructure, and what I think is the most important part, community engagement. I'm gonna make sure this is working before nope, I lied. Help me out, techie people. How do I advance the slides? Am I pointing at the back or the front? Is it on? It's an excellent question. It is in fact on. Help me out. I know the first slide. The first slide is an intro to Miami Waterkeeper. We're a local nonprofit. There we go. So which button is it? The big one? The two side together? We protect South Florida waterways by advocating for resilient solutions grounded in science, rooted in nature, and driven by community. Everything we do starts with the science. We have a big water quality monitoring program. We make all the results available in a publicly available app called the Swim Guide. We do a lot of advocacy and policy. And then, of course, we presented earlier today on our youth programs, which is another big focus area for us, including our junior ambassador program, and we do cleanups as well. But today I'm here with several of our partners on this project. This is going to be a really active session. I'm going to let each partner introduce themselves. We're going to play a little game. We're going to talk a little bit more about our Green Infrastructure Accelerator project. Then we're going to have some breakout groups and brainstorming, and then we'll bring it back together. I think you're next. Nope. Nikisha, did she disappear? Me.
Hello, my name is Nikisha Williams. My day job is Vice President of Collective Impact at the Miami Foundation. But I am a Miami native. I bought a home in Opelika a few years ago, and I am passionate about community and the work that we can all do together to improve our communities. And so part of moving to Opelika was meeting my neighbors and figuring out how can we change the city. And so I, along with a few other residents, created an organization called Neighbors First. And we are literally a bunch of people who genuinely care about seeing our community change. And so the first meeting that we had, it was us literally whiteboarding what needs to happen in this community. What is a city that we want to live in? And one of the things that actually came out of that is that we knew that we were suffering some environmental issues, right? We have dirty water, it floods. And so we were lucky enough to get connected with Miami Waterkeeper and really kind of join forces with them as we begin to advocate in our own community for the change that we want to see. And so I'm really excited to engage in this conversation with you all and for you all to learn about the work that Miami Waterkeeper is doing and the way in which we're working with them to ensure that we are boots on the ground. We are people in community. We are the ones who can call up our mayor and our commissioners. And then we get to work with the experts like Miami Waterkeeper who have the knowledge, but we have the drive, the passion, not that they don't, because they absolutely do, but also the community connections to change those things that we really want to see changed.
Hi, everyone. My name is Teresa Pinto. I am an attorney with the Peer Group, and I'm also an educator at the University of Miami. I'm here today, though, with the Peer Group. We are a nonprofit. We call ourselves your neighborhood nonprofit law firm because we are not your traditional lawyers. We're community lawyers. We're more a community organization trying to bring legal advocacy tools, as well as science and art and any other tools to integrate, right? We talk a lot about integration here, but to connect both the social and the environmental issues, right, that are very interconnected. We won't be able to move forward on sustainability and good environmental stewardship without also integrating our communities and taking care of everybody, right, at the same time. So that's kind of how we are here. We work with Miami Waterkeeper, and the next panelist, Trinice Bryant from SMASH. So I'm gonna, oh wait, we have one more. I just have one more slide because wanting to connect, right, make that connection for you. This is a picture of a playground that was built under I-95, once I-95 was built through the community of Overtown. And this was an environmental benefit that was being given back to the people of Overtown once their community had been destroyed. So this is infrastructure in a sense, right? And so we don't want to make the same mistakes of the past and create this kind of infrastructure and this kind of scene. So, and with that, I'll pass it on to Trinice.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trinice Bryant. I am the co-executive director of SMASH, that is Struggle for Miami's Affordable and Sustainable Housing. We fight for housing rights in low-income communities and also the connection of climate gentrification. We are one of the few organizations that has a cooperative. We started a cooperative in Liberty City in one of the highest elevation of lands in the community of low-income communities. We also says that housing is a human right, because we all know that we can't afford Florida. Florida housing crisis has went through the roof. People are being houseless, so we fight around slumlords. We notice that a lot of developers and a lot of landlords are becoming a lot of slumlords, and we fight to make that fight a past, not a reality anymore for the people that live in the communities that we work with.
Everybody to pick one person, you get organized. You're going to explain it? Okay. Okay, so we have a few more people than we anticipated, but thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. And so what we're going to do is we need one volunteer from each of the circle groups, and we're going to play a game up front here for a few minutes. Just one, please. It's fun. Thank you.
So this game that we're about to play is how SMASH created this game. This game reveals how we can win housing justice in the state of Florida, Miami-Dade County. By playing this game, it takes you through a lot of things that community folks suffer from, and it asks different questions of how we can solve those issues within our community. And Teresa is going to moderate the questions, and I will help y'all through the game and giving y'all the instructions of who's going to go first. You going to go first? Everybody has, so there's four buckets with dice in the buckets. No, yeah. We need, there's one person there. It's actually 4 people, not 5. Okay, that's what I like. Teamwork make the dream work. No, it's one here. Oh, I'm missing a thing. I'm missing, you good. I'm missing a bucket. Huh? Okay, there you go. Put the pot, it should have been okay.
They don't need the cups, though.
They don't need- So we'll go count up, but you have to stand over here. Everybody got to stand where the dice is. So pick up your bucket.
Yeah, there's one right there.
There's one right there.
Yeah, it just doesn't have a button.
You go there.
All by the line. We're all going to the numbers.
Take your bucket. You could go with this person and help this person, partner with this person.
All right.
One person rolls the dice. So she committed to be first. So we'll go counterclockwise around. You roll the dice anywhere. So right now, everybody is starting at 5. Leave the dice on the 5. That has to be everyone starts at $5,000. Everybody, 5,000. That everybody starts at 5,000. So you got a 5. You can keep, you can answer the question.
If climate gentrification were to displace all the Black families from the neighborhood, would you be okay with that? Yes or no? No. Okay. She answered no. So what did she do? Okay. And you have a down payment for the home then. She looks like she makes it to the down payment. Okay.
It's the first team that gets in the middle. Sort of kind of wins the game, but then we turn it over and it looks like that. And then we start asking the questions from those areas there.
Okay.
Should that be in practice? I want to win.
I gave you an easy question. So, because we only have 10 minutes, so you win. Okay. You make your 10,000? Oh, just one? Oh. I see. Okay. Has a tenant union ever succeeded in toppling your landlord? Yes or no? Has a tenant union ever succeeded in toppling their landlord?
There's a tenant union being created. Have a tenant union ever went over the landlord? Yes. Do you know of any?
Oh.
Would you like to create one? So I think
Then
the answer is correct.
there has not been one.
Take a group, it's not just one individual, it's a community as a whole together and showing.
You definitely get to move up a space. Okay. Wait, let me see. Okay. After living in a slum building for too long, Player one gets a rare cancer that costs $100 billion to cure. Do you agree to spend 10% of your income for the rest of your life to save her? Oh, that's funny because the second part of the question is, what if she's your mom? Okay, so you are deciding to save player one. Then that is the correct answer. I think you see there are lots of interconnected issues, right, that can go on with housing. Okay, ready? Okay, let's go to. Oh, my computer's decided to stop working. Okay. The only people that deserve housing are the ones who can afford it. Do you agree? Okay, that is the correct answer. You can move on.
So I just stop right here. I just want to give people just a feel of what low-income communities go through, the different scenarios of how that we have to organize just when housing is a human right, and just to be able to afford. So we had turned this over.
Yeah, I'm
The
gonna turn
numbers
it over.
that the dices was giving you, you would have been choosing to go around different ways of the different sectors. That's on the screen right here. And you'll be able to have one. So this, we can turn it over.
Yeah, we can
just
turn
to
it over
see
so
what
you
it
guys
looks
can
like
see.
on. This is what the actual game looks like, and this is what it, through the dice, through the different dice in here. And there were more dice to this game. There were like 1,000 dice to there, so to win housing justice around going to different spots. So you would ask questions, so you would start, please start here, you start here, with this number, and then you'll walk around this whole map. So the team would have started here, answer questions, and went here. And kept answering questions. The first team that made it around would have been the team that won the housing justice. Does that make sense? Yes. Right? Because we need to organize. It takes a village to change.
How you're educating the constituency that you work with.
Yes. By making a game, making it fun.
Yeah.
And teaching people who are in power what this look like and have them play the game to see if they feel how the laws that they create for low income folks, how do they feel to live in that predicament? Not able to afford, not able to have to deal with rats and roaches and things like that.
They want us to hold it up for the camera. Yeah, it's too big. And for you guys who played, there are mangrove propagules, one for each. They're already sprouted if you'd like to take one. Thank you for playing. They still be fine the rest of the day. Just stick them in a glass of water and you'll be good. Thank you. You gotten very mixed. You're not allowed to say that you are allowed. You are allowed. Okay, yep.
It's frozen. Help me out, it's frozen. Okay, so thank you for participating. If we had more time, we would probably just play the game the entire time. I'm going to talk about our green infrastructure. There we go. Green Infrastructure Accelerator project for a second. And it came about, we applied for some EPA funding, mostly because every time we talked about integrating green infrastructure in communities, people said, where are we going to do this in urban environments? There's no space. Everything is so built up. And so the first part of this project was going to each community and saying, where are the underutilized spaces? Where could we make improvements in your local communities to really enhance quality of life? And of course, in addition to that, it will have all these other environmental positive impacts, right? So if we talk about some examples, and I'm going to go quickly, we're a little bit short on time. But I did a quick poll and it seemed like at least half of you were not that familiar. So I do want to take the time to cover this. But some examples of types of green infrastructure solutions that we could implement in local communities include living streets. That moved on its own. There we go. Bioswales is another example. Rain gardens, so we could have really small solutions, or we could have wetland projects next to canal banks that could be really large. Urban forests are other examples. When you talk about the benefits of green infrastructure, in addition to just general quality of life for the residents, clearly we're involved because it improves water quality and helps quantity in terms of movement. Having the water move where you want it to move instead of flooding streets and people's homes. It improves air quality when you're talking about tree canopies and integrating nature, climate resilience in general, and of course, habitat and wildlife improvements. And again, that general community improvement. So the goal for this project is to really start with the community engagement, ask people to nominate locations, and then we come back with solutions. So we're going to design specific solutions for communities and then make them scalable and replicable. So that's the goal here, is to design specific solutions that can be used all over Miami-Dade County. There is a specific focus on historically disadvantaged communities as well, because we know we can have the greatest impact there. So we have an online tool, but what we also did was move into local communities and go to community meetings and meet with residents, libraries, restaurants we tabled at, in addition to existing town halls, and then also speaking with government stakeholders and just trying to get as much resident input as possible. We had an online tool, but when we physically went to speak with communities, we just added their nominations to the tool as well. So you can scan the QR code and add your own if you want. It's also on our website. We had 217 nominations within about 4 or 5 months of community outreach. So this is me and some of my team going to different communities and just talking to people about stormwater, about tree canopies, about heat, and how we can make improvements in their communities. Because obviously residents know their communities best. And whatever solutions we develop, we want them to be co-created. We don't want to walk in and say, here's the solution. We want them to be part of the entire process. So the first step is reducing the number of locations to 6 to 8 for this first step, this first phase. And then we're going to go back to those communities and have another series of, here's a preliminary design. What did we get right? What did we miss? How else could it be improved before we come up with other iterations and a final design? So we reached out to 15 specific communities across Miami-Dade. 216 locations were nominated, and we held over 30 community engagement events. We could have done this for several more years, but we're limited in terms of grant funding, so we'll need to apply for another whole phase. So I did that really quickly. We're going to break out into your circular groups. We're going to bring over a big sticky note chart. If I could have our lovely interns and other people helping out here pass one out to each group. We have some markers. And I would love to hear your answers to these 3 things. So if you can talk about it amongst your groups. The first one is, where in your community could you use green infrastructure type solutions? Where would it be most impactful? Sometimes it's public space, sometimes it's private, sometimes it's an easement next to a canal. You know your community's best. So just talk in generalities or specifics to your community. The second is, how do you see environmental justice connecting with green infrastructure and other challenges? And the third is just general about this workshop, other than spending 2 additional hours here. How else could we have improved it? What are other ways we could engage with residents? So we will also walk around so we can answer questions as you're kind of talking it out. So if you could pick one person to just write down some highlights. At the end, we're going to stick them on the wall and then have everybody kind of go by and do 3 check marks on, okay, this one really hits me the most. Okay, but we'll give you at least 10 minutes here to talk it out.